Welcome back to Ambitious Hippies. We are back, and we are back for good. We're going to be chatting all about our ayahuasca experience in Costa Rica. How many people are in our group?
I mean, we're maxed out. I think there's 90 something. 90, yeah, you heard that right. You have twin beds stacked side by side. You start to hear... All right, now I want you to picture this.
I am in so much pain, and all I'm thinking is, please don't let me shit my pants. Like, that is not what I want. I don't do that. I have this moment where I can't puke, and it's just like this, it feels like twisting knots inside of you. And she's like doing her thing, and finally I throw up, and it is incredible. It is euphoric. I'm like crying. I can see visions in my bucket. I close my eyes and I have the closest experience I've ever had to out of body. I can hear and see colors. I'm dancing with sounds. I have so many visions of what my life looks like and things that I've had to go through and next steps I need to take, and Michael and I's relationship. And I have this beautiful moment of love, and I'm just completely... I've been stripped of like all the things that have been holding me back. And I'm just like this pure version of like soul and spirit and love. It's like God's baby right here. And that lasts for a while. And then all of a sudden I am like washed over with all of the grief and the suffering and the trauma that everyone else has experienced. Like I'm back into the room and it becomes so heavy. I don't even think I can move. Like I feel paralyzed onto the bed and I start hysterically crying because I'm like, nobody should have to carry this much. This is awful. Nobody should have to carry this much. And it was a euphoric experience, but it was also feeling everyone's trauma was way too much. It was too heavy. So that goes on until about 3:00 in the morning. And then they turn all the lights on, and that's the end of the experience. So then we all gather around in a circle, we kumbaya, and we get to share our experience if we want to. The minute the lights come on, I look at my husband, and he gives me this like nudge to come here. And I bolt across the room because I'm like, oh my God, you're never going to believe this, dude. I have wings coming out of my back. People are going through trauma. I want to help them. I'm just like so overtaken with all of these things. How was your experience?
And I'm so happy for her, but at the same time, I'm like, what the hell? I'm jealous right now. I wanted to have a great experience, and all I got was a tummy ache. But I was happy for her. I was happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
But a little upset at the same time.
A little bit of a jelly bean. And I didn't care. I was riding that high.
And of course
baby.
I was like, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Tell me about all the good stuff. I wanna live vicariously through you. That sounds amazing.
Such an incredible experience. I journaled like so much, like scratch, all of the things that were happening. And we have this moment, and it's like an hour of people sharing their experience, which is fine. Do you. Like it's in the middle of the night. We've all gone through what feels like war together because there's so many people.
5 to 3:00 in the morning. I mean, it's a long
5 p.m. to 3 a.m.
It's a long evening.
As we're nearing the end of this share session, Michael, who still has not had any experience.
Nope. Well, guess who's about to have an experience? Oh, Michael. Lights are on right in front of everybody. And so I'm covered up in the fetal. I am in the fetal position right now. I've turned my back to Courtney because I'm like, I'm hot. I'm starting to get sweaty. I'm sure I was pale. All right. I'm like, I don't want to puke in front of everybody. I don't want to do it. I mean, they're right there 10 feet in front of me. Wouldn't have mattered. Everybody else has puked their guts up, but they're sharing how amazing of an experience they just had. And I'm about to puke my guts up. So I fight it for probably 10 minutes. And then finally I'm like, babe, we'll be right back. So I get up and I jog to the bathroom. Luckily it's open. Sit down and I do my thing in there. All right. Little puke, little poopy. And it's all good. Like bam, down the hatch. I still feel terrible. But what I'm hoping for, Courtney's like, man, once I puked, it was magical. So I'm looking in the trash can for magical things. I'm like, oh my God, I hope something magical is about to happen. Please, please, please. Nope, nothing happens. I stay in the bathroom for probably a good 5 minutes just waiting for something magical to happen, for me to hallucinate some magical being that's going to show me what my future life is going to look like or whatever I need to change. I get nothing but, again, a tummy ache, shivering because I poisoned my body the whole night. Walk out and I lay down. She's like, you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. I feel like I'm dying right now. But anyways, about this time, it's over. Ceremony done. People are done sharing their stories. I mean, people that were screaming bloody murder are like, this was fantastic. This was great. I'm like, these people are insane, but whatever. We're going back. We're going back to the room, 4 o'clock in the morning.
It's great. We're walking barefoot underneath the moonlight. I am just
she's
living my best
she
life.
is like, this is amazing. And I'm over here just trying to not lose my shit on the way back to the room, literally out of both ends. Like, this is bad.
Yeah. So we get back to the room and I'm like, do you need anything? Is everything good? I'm like zinning out. I'm drinking coconut water. I'm like, life is great. I am an ascended being. I'm a child. I have like all these illuminations. And he's like, So I lay down and
I lay down. And then about 15 minutes later, I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom real fast. So I get up and I puke. The only kicker here is when I puke, remember how I said that the ayahuasca is somewhat thick and it's gritty, almost like sand? Well, guess what I puke up? Black sand is what I picture coming out of my mouth. So this may be a hallucination. It may just be the ayahuasca coming up. I don't know. But anyways, how I want you to understand this is, imagine puking and it's a slow puke and it crawls up your esophagus, out your mouth, and you can feel sand actually going up your throat. That's what it felt like, except for I was in the dark and it blocked my throat and my nose because it also came out of my nose. And you know what happens when thick sand-like material blocks your throat and your nose? You can't breathe and you start to panic.
And you're standing up with your hands up.
I am on the wall, hands on the wall, over toilet, balancing myself. It feels like I'm trying to fight this for a minute. I can't say anything. I can't scream. I can't talk. I can't breathe. I think I'm going to die in Costa Rica in a bathroom because I just did ayahuasca because I wanted a cool experience. I wanted to experience something I'd never experienced, and I thought I was going to experience death. So I go over, and I turn on the water, and I stick my hands under the water, and I swallow a little bit, and it's like, oh my God, I'm not going to die. Because it clears my throat enough for me to breathe. And so I can't blow my nose. It hurts. It's painful. I just have to deal with this black stuff running out of my nose. I go to the bed and I go, Courtney. She goes, are you okay? I go, Courtney, I feel like I'm 2 years old and I can't take care of myself right now.
I'm scared too.
I go, I'm just going to lay here and wait until the morning. That is how my ayahuasca experience went. I thought I was going to die because I puked up black sand and it blocked my ability to breathe. And Courtney, I could have shown up dead in the bathroom next morning. She would have been like, oh, she's over here just living her best life in bed.
Okay, first of all, I was not negligent. I checked on you.
You were great. I'm joking. She would have checked on me. You were great. You showed me compassion that night.
I did. I wanted you to have your own experience. So I was
did.
letting you do your thing. But the thing you came back and said after you felt unable to take care of yourself was, I think what they're doing here is unsafe.
Because it is irresponsible. I still get fired up to this day about it.
You're like, I think it's unsafe. I don't think that you should have this many people with this limited of staff. I think there needs to be medical care and more medical care. And I'm like, it's okay. Just relax.
Here's what she said.
Relax.
It's okay. It'll be fine. Let's just see how we feel in the morning.
Yeah, like let's just see how we feel in the morning. Yeah. So he can't get out of bed at 7 a.m.
Let's see how I feel in the morning after 2 more hours of laying in bed, not being able to breathe because I have black stuff all stuck in my cavities in my throat and my nose. So yeah, how do I wake up, Courtney?
So you think the same thing. You think that it is very unsafe. You said, I am not doing this again. I am opting out. I will stay in my room. They have to come get me. I do not care. I'm not doing it. I'm like, okay, well, let's see how the day goes. So I went and got you coconut water, which is where your love of coconut water is because it was like your saving grace. It was like Tom Hanks in Castaway. You're like, coconut water. Thank God I survived the night.
But it was so hard. I could barely drink. I couldn't eat breakfast that morning because I had a sore in the back of my throat. So I went to the sauna. I went to the wet sauna and the cold water plunge. And I did 4 sets of 4 with each. I did 15 minutes in the sauna. Then I jump out and do 5 minutes in the cold plunge. 15 minutes sauna. I did this 4 sets. Luckily, the sauna opened me up a little bit to where I could actually breathe. It did help my throat. The coconut water also did help my throat, which probably is where the love of coconut water comes from. And we go to another class.
We go to another class. So this is a big day for us because we get to share our experience with everyone again. And we go to another class. We also get a massage this day and an enema this day, which is a fun day.
It's an experience in itself.
It's an experience, but I'm thinking, all right, we're just going to clean her out. Maybe it'll make the experience even better. So we go to class again, and you have a tracker. Again, I'm going to add some more flags to you. You have a wristband that tracks every class that you go to when you show up, and they're like, these classes, I don't care if you sleep the entire time, you have to show up to them. They're very much programming your subconscious. So we go into this class, again, we're saying all these mantras and everyone's talking about their incredible experience. And Michael and I are covered in blankets looking around like, did you fuckers not have the same experience that we did? Were we not in the same room? You guys were losing your mind.
Oh, they literally asked, okay, so did anyone have this experience? Anyone have this experience? Did anyone feel like they were dying? Hand up. Michael's hand is straight up in the air. Only one other person in the whole room felt like they were dying. Well, come to find out, one person had to be admitted to medical help because their heart rate got so high and they may have actually died if they didn't go get medical help. Anyways, long story short, we take this class. They talk about experiences, and this is what you probably experienced. And then, hey, if you saw this last night, if this was your experience last night, this is how you translate it. This is what it means.
And if last night was bad, tonight is an opportunity for something great. So just stick with it. And we're like, okay, cool. We're doing it. We're going to go get our rub down. We're going to get our enema. My enema broke, which is great. It was actually a wonderful experience because nothing happened.
My enema was weird. I mean, you just like poop the whole time for 30 minutes and it's like water.
Are we giving them too much information?
We were asked. You want the full experience. We're giving you the full experience here.
Okay. All right. Telling you everything. I'm glad we're connected like this. So again, we're all trying to avoid the purge because after night one, what you think it is, it's actually way worse. It's terrifying. Terrible. So night two, same song and dance, 5:30 until the wee hours of the morning. Michael and I have to basically drag him because he's like, I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. I'll give it one more go. I'm like, okay. No big deal. So we go in, again, same deal, can't be by each other. We're across the room. We essentially just flip sides. So this night, do the whole thing, ceremony, sit in silence after your first cup.
Not open bar for Michael. Nope. It is an open bar, but Michael's not taking advantage of open bar. Michael is only drinking one. I'm drinking one. Yeah. How many did you drink one?
Just drank one because what happened was I drank one. I felt the same feeling. And then I felt what felt like vines or ropes tying me to the bed and I couldn't move. I'm like, well, this is great. Okay. I'm hallucinating that I'm being attacked by plants. Literally, I have plants all inside of me. Now they're on top of me, keeping me to this bed. I'm like, fine, fuck it. I'm just going to lay right here. And I'm just going to have to, the best I can, try to block out yet again sounds of terror and death all around us. Michael's partner.
Oh, night two is even worse from a screaming standpoint. Now, I only had one thing of ayahuasca. So luckily, I only puked a little bit, hurt my throat again. I'm like, thank God I didn't drink more. I didn't hallucinate one time the whole night. However, I was in for a great show. 2 beds down from me, the guy is part animal, part hunter. Part animal, part hunter. Roar! I'm going to shoot you. Roar! The whole night. I mean, for like 4 hours, I'm like, again, a little jealousy, a little envy. Why is this working for other people, but it's not working for me? I wanted to have a great experience. Here's the wild thing, though. This was a cool experience. 4 hours of watching this guy like trip balls for sure. This girl screamed. Literally, I'm pretty sure she thought she was dying or something very trauma was they had to remove her and take her to another facility. Mm-hmm. Night 2, there was a guy that acted crazy and had to get tied up to a tree. Night 2, things went wild. And I was pretty much sober enough to experience it all, which was pretty cool. Like, I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
Let's tell the tree story. So night 2, lights come on, and it is a rough night. People are losing it, like beyond. So when they turn on the lights, instead of seeing your normal like tissues scattered, you also see blood everywhere because they have puked so much, there is now blood. So you're barefoot because you don't wear shoes in this. And you're like, oh God, this is just disgusting. There's like human fluid everywhere. This guy is a yoga instructor, and he's very chill on a normal basis. But he's still going through his process when the lights come on in his share time. And he starts banging on the floor. And he's like, it's real. It's real. It's real. Love exists. Love exists. And he gets up and we're like, yeah, yes, love exists. Absolutely. And he starts hitting the shamans, starts punching them as he's saying love exists. And in my mind, I'm like, that doesn't add up. That's not. Michael and I are curled up together. We're in a full spoon, cuddling, like consoling each other. And I'm like, what's happening? He's like, I don't know. So that guy, the love exists guy, yoga instructor, is the one that gets taken out and tied to a tree. I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be great. And this share session went on for 2 hours, to the point where Michael and I start giggling because we're like, oh my God, we've got to get out of here. This is insane.
And your trip was really bad.
So nothing happened. I just threw up a little bit. Nothing like the first night where I had this wonderful experience. So we go back to the room and we're both like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I'm like, I'm still in it though. I'm still ready to commit to 2 more nights. So we go back to the room, we lay down, and then I have the experience that Michael had the night before. The delayed purge, where I go into the bathroom and I am losing it. I am puking everywhere. And I'm like, what is happening? Why is this happening? I only had 1 cup. Why is it so late? This is awful. This is the worst experience of my life. I'm crying. I'm like, Michael, this is not safe. And he's like, yeah, yeah. Now we're on the same page.
I know it's not safe. I
like,
know.
This is not safe. They need more people. There shouldn't be this many people here. They need more staff. This needs to be a smaller group. This is too much trauma. All of this. And he's like, well, let's just see how we feel in the morning. I'm like, oh God, this sounds terrible. I can't believe I said that to you the night before. I'm like, okay, cool. So we roll over. I don't sleep at all. And at 7 a.m., he's like, so how do you feel? I'm like, we're getting the fuck out of here. He's like, all right.
Bam. Jumped up out of bed, started packing the suitcase. But we have to have an exit plan because we're not allowed to leave this place.
So we're scared that we're not going to be able to get out of here, that we are locked down.
And we are dehydrated. We are starved. All right.
And we're still tripping, man.
We're still kind of tripping. Like, we've done ayahuasca 2 nights in a row now. Mm-hmm. And so we start obviously playing, like, I'm playing worst case scenario. My job is to make sure that you are protected at all times. And I'm like, okay, well, there is an exit strategy that I've seen some people go to this like secret place that the fence is low and they go and smoke their cigarettes. Like, this is a good place we can get out if we have to. But long story short, what do we do? What happened? I don't even know how that, because it all happened really quickly. I mean,
yes.
7 o'clock, we were out of there by 11 o'clock.
Yep. So I text Jody, who's my best friend. I'm like, hey, I got to get out of here. Find me the nicest resort that's far enough away from here that I won't see. Like, I need to be able to escape, but I want something super nice. We've been through war. Perfect. I'm on it. So she's like, all right, you're going to the Four Seasons. The driver will be there at 11 a.m. I'm like, perfect. I don't even care how much it costs at this point. I am so like, get me out. It feels like
fearing for our life.
Yes, it feels very real that I'm going to be stuck here and kept against our will. So we go to check out and we're like, okay, we're prepared. Michael has a backpack on that has all of our essentials, our passports, anything that we need. He has, like, he is clutching it.
Money, passports, yeah.
We're like,
I'm
okay,
set. I'm ready to run.
If we got to leave our luggage, we'll leave our luggage. So we're running through this whole thing. And there's a few people there.
We're wearing dark clothes,
We are.
long sleeve
Sunglasses.
shirts, and pants in case we have to go and hide in the jungle.
Yeah.
You just never know.
We had played out every scenario on how we were going to escape. And there's a few people there where they've talked about, the instructors have talked about wanting to leave in the process. And they're pretty aggressive people on like, oh God, okay, if we come in contact with them, we have to be prepared. So we sit down and we're just waiting because we're like, okay, somebody's going to come up to us. Something's going to happen. We're waiting for a driver. They have to buzz our driver in because it's a lockdown. We're thinking, oh God, it's just, we're not going to get out of here. This is it. There's nobody that's going to come pick us up. They're not going to let us in. They're not going to let us out. Oh my God, we're going to be stuck here. We're going to have to continue to go through this process. This is awful. So 2 people come up to us that work at the resort and they're like, hi, is everything okay?
Family emergency.
Family emergency.
Well, tell them it's a family emergency.
That's all we would say. They would like ask us, is there anything that you need? Was everything okay? Family emergency. We have our sunglasses on. And we're like, I mean, if we could have said fuck off, that's what we would have said. But we're like, no, we are not. They were very sweet. and they were very passive. So we didn't have to fight them, but we were prepared. Michael and I were clenched.
I wasn't gonna, I mean, I guess I would if I had
We were
to fight
ready to
somebody. I didn't want to go to a Costa Rican jail, but more so I was like,
We were ready to run.
if they give us pushback, we're getting out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. They were very nice. And they're like, okay.
I think there was because there was two of us and we're both pretty like type A aggressive personalities when we have to be. And so
we were in full on Puma Cat mode.
Yeah.
We were like, don't mess with us. Tag, team, back again. Like, No. They're like, okay, all right. Well, if there's anything that you need, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'd love to see you back. We're thinking, what the fuck?
Yep, we'll be back in touch with you guys. Thank
Yeah,
you.
definitely let you know. Family emergency. Our van shows up. I have a picture. It's my favorite picture of Michael like running to the van with our backpack, and I'm running behind him. And I'm like, oh my God, freedom! It was the best feeling in the world to get in the van and to leave the crisis situation and go to the Four Seasons.
Gratitude. Right when we exited out of the gate, we told our taxi driver, like, can you stop just for a second? And he stopped. He looked at us. We're like, thank you so much for picking us up today. It really, really means a lot. Like, I felt like I was saved. Like, I felt like I was running from something like a prison. I felt like I was running from prison. And I was like, oh my God, please.
Yeah, so we get to the Four Seasons. Again, we have no idea how much it costs. At this point,
Don't care.
We don't care. We don't. We're like, oh my God, this is so great. And if you remember the three things that were said at the very beginning, show me who I've become, merge me back with my soul at all costs, and heal my heart. We arrive at the Four Seasons and we're like, show me who I've become. All right.
We have a room that overlooks the ocean. There's a
beautiful
pool below, white sandy beaches. Show me who I've become. This is who I've become. Thank you so much, Mama Ayahuasca. Peace out.
So that's our ayahuasca story. So our first night, we are still recovering from PTSD. And we wake up in the middle of the night. We clinch each other. And we're like, did we get out? Where are we? Did we make it? Are we still back at the resort? Or what's happening?
We thought we were still, yes. We thought we were still there, yes.
So that's the ayahuasca story. We started our Costa Rica vacation early. We did not complete our 4 nights of ayahuasca ceremonies. We did 2 nights. We tapped out. I had a great experience one night, not great experience the next. Michael had 2 terrible experiences. All of that to say.
I was going to say, yeah.
Would you do it again?
I was going to say, that's the question we always get asked. My answer would be, I would try it again at a better location with I would do homework. I would do better homework this time. And I would make sure it was a tiny group, preferably just me and you, or me by myself, you by yourself, no more than like 3 to 4 people.
Yeah.
No more. If anything more than that, an answer is no.
Yeah.
Hell no. Other than that, I'm always up for a good time. Let's try it again. Why not? Worst case scenario, I have another purge session that I'm not crazy about. I puke up black sand. I think I'm going to die, but I survive and I get to tell about it.
On a podcast called Ambitious Hippies.
How about you? Would you do it again?
I would. Same deal. You cannot have that many people. It is too much to absorb and hear all of that trauma, especially when you're cracked open like that. I would do it in a much smaller group, like you said. I also would prefer not having to continually get up and interrupt the process to go get more ayahuasca. So there's a place that somebody else was talking about while they were there that was in Peru versus Costa Rica. And they had a bigger cup. So they only took ayahuasca once and they were able to lay down and then just have their experience without having to continually get up if they didn't want to. But I would prefer either one-on-one or just me and you. But I do think that used in a safe way can be, for some people, a tool. And I think that especially here, what we're always trying to go through is really, how do we love ourselves more? How do we love our life more? Especially me and you, I think that whole process brought us even closer together. I don't know if that's trauma bonding, but there's something incredibly fulfilling or gratifying when I wake up from an incredible experience and I look up and you're the only person that I want to see.
Yeah.
It's like, you are my person. And going through that experience, and while it was wild and crazy, makes for a hell of a story.
It did.
So that's the ayahuasca story. I would love to hear your thoughts on this podcast. The podcast that we didn't want to do, but we definitely want to share with you the story and our experience. Have you experimented with psychedelics? Have you done ayahuasca? Are you curious about it? Did this podcast change? If you want to do it or not, let us know. Shoot us a message, shoot us a DM. I would love to hear what you think.
We both said we would do it again, just not at Rhythmia.
Not at Rhythmia.
No way.
No. A lot of
more
people have
homework?
had a great experience there, just not us. So that's our 2 cents. Thank you so much for tuning into this wild and crazy episode of Ambitious Hippies. We are back. We are staying. We are no longer in seasons. You're going to catch us every single week. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. As always, stay wild, friends.